Okay, I'm just going to start. So, I hope you have had a good rest. I hope you feel energized after all the discussions and encounters you've had yesterday. We're going to have a lot of chances for some more today. Just a quick overview. We are first going to start with a communication session, and this will be followed by 2 thematic sessions in the morning and then still 2 in the afternoon. But before we head to the communication part, I hope the online participants are there as well. You have your new links. Hope everything is working well. And I will hand over to our co-chair, Ms. Pumetsa Nodada, to officially open the day.
Thank you, Madam Moderator. And good morning to all of you. And good morning to the colleagues online. I hope they are there. I think all of us, we know that communication is important. We struggle with it in our personal lives. We struggle with it at work. But it doesn't mean that we must not communicate. I think one of the issues that came out yesterday, clearly on both thematic sessions, was the issue of communication. And I think in one of the sessions, there was an issue about we tend to communicate with one another as foresters, but we are unable to send that message out to the other people so that they can understand the work that we do, and then we are able to collaborate. And then the second issue was on collaboration. And if we want to collaborate and we want to collaborate effectively, we need to know how to communicate. So what I'm hoping for in this session is that we will go through understanding how we do that communication, what tools are there we can use, but also examples in terms of how communication has worked and how communication has assisted some of the countries and some of the organizations in terms of ensuring that there's better collaboration between ourselves and the world out there. So thank you very much. So I can hand the book over to you.
That was a real good setup for our next session. So I will just introduce the moderator of the communication session. He's Mr. Adrian Searle. He's head of communications from the Forest Research UK. And I'll hand over to you and you can explain what's happening next. Thank you.
Thanks, Tina. I'm Adrian Searle. I ran Freight, an award-winning Scottish creative agency and publishing company for 16 years. For 6 years, I ran major national behaviour change campaigns for Police Scotland, and I now work in communications for Forest Research in the UK. I'm Scottish. Thank you. I didn't bring my bagpipes, I'm sorry. I'm also a forest owner as well. In this morning's session, we're going to explore why communications are so important for a forest-based bioeconomy, why we need to change people's perceptions and behaviour, and how a current communication campaign, the Grow the Solution campaign, is working to do just that. So, I have a background in criminal justice behaviour change programs that have had significant success in changing opinions and behaviour. Behaviour change campaigns are routinely used by governments in health and in many other areas of public policy. Behaviour change works to 2 key methodologies when dealing with a problem. The first focuses on the capability, opportunity, and motivation of the audience to act. Motivation is the catalyst, and we can influence it with communications. Secondly, we have to make the action that we want people to do as easy, attractive, social, and time-dependent as possible. A 2025 survey by the European Parliament of all member countries confirmed 59% of Europeans use digital sources for social and political content. But 35% of those using social media said they'd previously been exposed, either often or very often, to disinformation. Not in the previous year, but in the last 7 days. What we learn from this is that we need to be proactive about creating and sharing clear, consistent, and evidence-based information. Doing nothing is not an option. We can't not communicate. Today, I'm joined on stage by Maria, Kai, Gerda, and Eva. Maria, Kai, Gerda, and Eva are part of FAO's Regional Forest Communicators Networks. First established in Europe some 30 years ago, there's now 6 networks spanning 6 regions. In total, the networks comprise of over 500 professionals from the public and private sectors who work together with the aim of strengthening sustainable forest management in policy and practice through communication. The Forest Communicators Networks have also played a crucial role in the Grow the Solution advocacy and awareness-raising campaign for the use of sustainable wood. With support from Austria, Germany, and Canada, this campaign has been developed by FAO and partners under the aegis of the Collaborative Partnership on Forests. We'll hear more about Grow the Solution today. Kai, what challenges do we face in convincing the world of the benefits of a bioeconomy?
Thanks, Adrian. Yes, public misconceptions are the problem, because these translate into a lack of support for both existing and new policies. A study financed by the European Commission, for instance, highlights that about 26% of European citizens point to harvesting and management as the most concerning threat to forests, second only to forest fires.
In my country, in the UK, in 2 years between 2023 and 2025, the number of people who think no trees should be cut down ever, even if it's going to be replanted, has increased from 25% to 41%.
Oh, wow. So that means that nearly half the population of the UK don't think we should use sustainable wood as a material at all. Many don't understand the connection between the landscape and sustainable forest management and the wood they use every day. In Finland, the forest, as in other countries, many other countries as well, the forest debate is at times quite polarized. Many people see the use of forest and climate goals as contradictory. And clear cuts are also often perceived to be the only method of using forest. Forestry has a strategic problem. Media coverage on forestry is predominantly negative, focusing on destruction and disaster. After 30 years of campaigns, the public in many countries often sees deforestation and sustainable forest management as the same thing. The public doesn't understand that managed forests often are healthier, more biodiverse environments than unmanaged forests.
Incredibly, 35% of people in the UK don't know that cardboard comes from trees. Eva, What other misconceptions do the general public have?
Well, many people don't know that wood can store carbon for hundreds of years if kept as wood. A growing tree takes it out from the atmosphere through photosynthesis. We forget the lessons from school. Many people don't know that wood is strong enough to build log gates that can hold back the water, and to build skyscrapers, which are as solid as those built in other materials. Many people are not aware that wood can provide us with fibers that can then be transformed into textiles, such as lyocell in these FSC-certified shoes with a sole in natural rubber coming from the forest, or this shirt that I'm wearing today in FSC-certified viscose. My outfit today comes entirely from the forest. Many people don't know that wood is an innovative material, and it can even be used to make satellites that we send to space. And the most surprising fact is that many people don't know that wood is a renewable material, as trees regrow in a well-managed forest.
Maria, we just saw some of the products developed for the Grow the Solution campaign. Can you tell us more about it?
Yes, absolutely. We elaborated the campaign in a workshop with representatives of regional forest communicators networks from institutions and organizations, together with advertising company Saatchi & Abel. In this workshop, we realized that we had a communication challenge. On one hand, we have harvesting, on the other hand, the protecting. So we needed to find a positive connotation to communicate to the general public, and so we came up with the positive word growing, which led us to the slogan, Grow the Solution, Wood, Nature's Sustainable Solution. For our strategy, we also conducted a media channel analysis to understand how people actually receive their information. You can see here an example from Sweden. I'm not going to go into all the details, but you can see that social media and TV are the main channels of information. In Malaysia, there is a similar pattern. The results of the survey showed that on social media, visuals like images or posters, but especially video, are the main communication tools that people use. So for TV, we leverage international days. Here, a recent example where we worked with the Forest Communicators Networks to produce a video spot on forests and innovation.
Innovation is unlocking the forest's long-kept secrets. Buried deep under the bark of trees are powerful solutions. The chemistry of trees allows us to use them in ways we never imagined possible. Harmful plastics can now be replaced with biodegradable alternatives derived from wood. We can substitute graphite and rare earth metals in batteries and create new sustainable fibers to help reshape the fashion industry. Technology is constantly developing new sustainable materials from trees, from those that can heal us to those that provide us a place to live and work while locking in carbon. Drone innovations are changing the way we manage and protect our forests, helping to detect and fight forest fires, as well as safeguarding biodiversity and fragile ecosystems. Forests, new solutions for a better world.
You can see that the spot was aired on Deutsche Welle, Euronews, Africa News, and France 24, reaching over 1 billion households in over 170 countries. The video was also produced in 38 languages, and many forest communicators promoted the spot also at country level. And for impact through social media, we also produced the Would You video, which was launched a few weeks before COP.
Would you believe a forest can change the world? 6 questions. 6 ways sustainable wood is quietly and powerfully shaping life for the better. Would you store carbon in a coffee table? In Kenya, mango trees become furniture, locking up carbon and unlocking income for farmers. By 2050, long-life wooden products could store 1 billion tons of CO2 every year. Would you build a skyscraper with trees? Concrete and steel each create over 8% of global CO2 emissions. But in Norway, engineered spruce is rising high, cutting emissions and reshaping skylines with a lighter footprint. Would you trust a tree to hold back the sea? In the Netherlands, lock gates are made from African azobe. In Gabon, that same tree sustains families. Globally, forests provide jobs for 42 million people. Trees grow more than wood. They grow livelihoods. Would you choose a resource that renews itself? In Brazil, forests are planted, nurtured, and harvested, again and again. Since 2000, certified forests have increased nearly 8-fold. What other building material grows back? Would you wear a tree? Fashion creates up to 9% of ocean microplastics. In Finland, trees are spun into soft, breathable fibers, cutting waste, not style. Would you launch a tree into orbit? In Japan, engineers built the world's first wooden satellite. It burns up cleanly on re-entry, unlike metal debris. With over 140 million pieces of junk already circling Earth, wood could be the clean break space needs. From skyscrapers to satellites, tables to textiles, wood is reshaping how we live, work, and dream. As strong as steel, soft as cotton, greener than concrete. The answers are growing all around us. The only question is, would you choose them?
The video was viewed on Facebook, Instagram, X, YouTube, and Weibo over 2.15 million times. We also made an effort to target TikTok, which is one of the fastest growing social media platforms. And on TikTok, the video was viewed 2.5 million times. We will continue monitoring new trends, especially on social media, and continue working with advertising companies on the and the networks who globally help us always to reach the grassroots level.
Gerda, why is a shared narrative important to get the message across?
A shared narrative helps a diverse group of stakeholders to focus on their common values and speak with one voice. Thus, it can build bridges and inspire action. Looking at Europe, for example, we have a diversity of stakeholders there, at least 250 different organizations communicating about wood and forests. This creates a cacophony of voices. The concrete industry, in comparison, has just 3 of these actors. So, sharing the narrative and speaking with one voice is essential. Only consistency will have an impact. One voice will be heard better. With Grow the Solution, we have a narrative that the whole forest-related sector, from policy to practice and from research to industry, can share and use. If you look at the Would You posters, which you will have seen here at the event, they are available in many different languages and can be translated into more. And the same is valid also for social media cards in the same design. The Would You posters can be used as printouts and in a digital format. And those of you who attended the COP30 in Belém last November may have seen them at the Forest Pavilion. Then there's also a wooden billboard that we've produced. It can travel. It has become a very popular selfie spot and backdrop, for example, at the IUFRO 2024 World Congress in Stockholm, or at FAO's Committee on Forestry, COFO, and at the first global exhibition From Seeds to Foods in Rome. So the easiest thing to start with using all these things is the use of the hashtag. You've already been invited to do that, and you'll have it here. We encourage you all to use the hashtag GrowTheSolution in your communications, to speak with one voice to change people's perceptions. Together, we can shift perceptions. Together, we can make real impact.
I fully agree as a behaviour change specialist. I totally agree, Gerda. Policy can't succeed without action. Action can't happen without influence. We create influence through communication, identifying who we're talking to, establishing the need we're addressing, demonstrating the credibility of the solution, and reinforcing the benefits. As has been shown with Grow the Solutions Would You campaign, communications can make things easy, attractive, social, and timely. That's what creates motivation. Consistency is essential. It takes time to change attitudes and behaviour. In this campaign, we have an excellent foundation on which to build, but the media landscape is constantly evolving, and we need to invest to continue to cut through. Join in. I'm now going to hand over to Georg Rappold, the co-chair of the summit.
Thank you. Good morning to all of you here in the room and back home online, and to those who have been joining us yesterday. I hope you had a nice evening and you really enjoyed the reception. To your session, I think for me during the session one message came through clearly. Limited public understanding of the role of forest in the bioeconomy is constraining policy ambitions, weakening investment, confidence, and undermining the support of society. So if people do not understand how forests can sustainably provide solutions, they will not stand behind them. Without greater awareness, we may fail to really fully harness one of our most powerful nature-based solutions, as we have just seen. So how can we change this? I mean, the communication experts were very clear. We must speak with one voice. Strong, unified, and compelling messages are essential to shift perception, building trust, and mobilize meaningful actions. That is why aligning our communication efforts and really fully deploying the state-of-the-art tools you just have seen, also developed under the Grow the Solution, is really important. These are not only simply products, as we have seen. They are strategic instruments for shaping the narratives, influencing the decision-making, and strengthening the future of the forest-based bioeconomy. So we really believe by pooling resources and aligning our messages, we really can significantly amplify our global reach. So that's the reason why we really encourage all of you, all countries, all stakeholder organizations to join Austria, Canada, and Germany in reinforcing and expanding the Grow the Solution initiative. So globally and regionally. So we really believe that together we can make a difference. Thank you very much.
Just wondering if anybody's got any individual reflections that they want to share with us. Elaine from the UK.
Thanks everyone, thanks Adrian. From the UK, I'd first like to say how pleased we were to welcome and host the Forest Communicators Network for its annual conference in Edinburgh last year. It was a great event and great to see and some really good outcomes from that meeting. Secondly, the United Kingdom would like to support the call for good communications and campaigns such as Grow the Solution. They're critically important for pushing forward actions to support the forest-based bioeconomy at a time when forest management is viewed so critically by the public and wider society. And finally, I'd just like to say that the bioeconomy may have its special moment in next month on the International Day of Forests, where the theme, I understand, is forests and bioeconomies. So, and just to say well done for your campaigns, they're excellent. Thank you.
Sorry, on you go. Oh, Canada.
I'm pleased that you said, "Oh, Canada," as well. That's in the beginning of the national anthem. Listen, thank you so much for the opportunity. Just to note, our support, obviously, for this. This has been a great campaign, and I do agree, and Canada supports the idea of speaking with one voice on this and promoting, the importance of wood in meeting a lot of today's challenges. So, thank you all for doing this. And again, I think I would just echo, I would encourage everyone to get involved. And, when we speak with one voice on this, we can get a clear message out and help to make sure that people make informed decisions about the things that they consume and produce. So thank you so much.
Cheers, thank you. Anybody else want to contribute? Yes, Germany.
Well, first of all, congratulations to the organizers, the moderator, and the panelists for this refreshing session. I really liked it, and I saw some shocking facts regarding the lack of public awareness, connected to sustainable forest management and forests in general. So that's the first. Second, thank you for the shout out to Germany. We are happy to support this great campaign, Grow the Solution. We are, I must admit, a new supporter. I would also like to invite other countries to join in. I know from my own experience that it hasn't been easy to convince our internal stakeholders, including our budget department or even traditional stakeholders in the German forest sector, to actually spend money on communication. I might speak for Germany only, but it might be similar in other countries, but the sector isn't exactly famous for good communication. And I think all of us need to do more reach out. And in that regard, I would also be grateful to the panelists, either now or included in your future work, to include also some kind of advisory to governments and other stakeholders in the forestry sector, how we can reach out to the mainstream, the people in urban areas. The world is getting urbanized. Many people are totally alienated from forest. Kids, as you show, don't know where paper is coming from. So how do I stop preaching to the converted, and how do I reach actually someone who has no idea about forests? I'm in my bubble. How do I do that? I'm really grateful for ideas. Maybe we need some kind of a forest ambassador. Maybe we need to really think outside the box, think about sports, think about other, celebrities who can support us. I know part of the challenge, and I will stop then, is a budget issue. It's very, very costly to engage in some of these campaigns. So that's why I also would like to encourage other countries to engage in these important campaigns, and let's not take communication. Let's not push it to the side as, oh, it's not so important. So thank you very much.
Cheers, thank you.
Maybe, Adrian, just for me to say that actually the Forest Communicators Network have this advisory role, and we have very often supported also some countries, but also we have our yearly European Forest Communicators Network meeting workshops where countries can bring in any topics for the agenda, and we are always happy to support, to give communication advice for specific items.
Yes, FAO first, and then we'll...
Thank you very much. I would like to take this opportunity to firstly congratulate the Communicators Network and its 6 regional networks for this excellent work. And secondly, I would like to express our gratitude and appreciation to the countries supporting this network, especially Austria, Germany, and Canada, for their actually long-standing support, which is generating impacts. And thirdly, I think it's a time for us to scale up and to actually mainstream communications throughout the forestry sector, especially after the findings of FRA 2025, which indicates that the greatest challenge we are facing is the continuous loss of forest resources. 10.9 million hectares to deforestation, 41 million hectares damaged by pests and diseases, and another 127 million hectares burned by fire. Altogether, it's approaching 200 million hectares, which is more or less the same as the amount of new plantations needed to achieve the 2030 target of 3% of increase of forest cover. So, and also I think it's time for us to communicate to our members that afforestation, reforestation, and restoration are the ways to actually increase our forest cover and to meet the increasing demand for wood and forest. Fourthly, I think we need to think about innovative ways of communication, as expressed by the distinguished delegates from Germany, that probably at the moment we say that we have reached so many million households and families and people, but who are they? We need our communications more targeted and audience-oriented, specific audience-oriented. So, and also we need to think about the general communication and communication on specific technical topics, so to reach general public and the professionals. At the same time, we need actually to work with partners and members to actually expand our communication network and its mandate. So I would like to actually call upon members and partners to join our work, either as a contributor or as a supporter. Thank you very much.
Brilliant. Thank you very, very much. Right at the back first, and then I'll come to you.
Thanks very much. I'm Bryony from Traffic, an NGO that works on wildlife trade issues. It was a really brilliant example of a campaign. Thanks very much for sharing it. It's just a little plug for maybe some dedicated thinking and communication campaigns around non-wood forest products as well. We find that the general public are not very aware of products that have wild plant ingredients from them, and there are links to forests. They're often quite hidden. But the communication challenges are quite complex around that. And then with that in mind, it's just a little plug as well for the World Wildlife Day that's coming up, organised by the CITES Secretariat. That's on the 3rd of March, and the theme this year is medicinal and aromatic plants. So there's really great opportunity there to raise the profile of non-wood forest products. Thank you.
Thank you. Just here.
Thank you. My name is Mia Crawford, and I'm representing here the major group farmers and small forest landowners. I have a question. To what extent are you already involving stakeholders in your current work? And first of all, congratulations on an excellent presentation and a fantastic campaign. So I'd like to understand how the communication network is, how you are involving stakeholders at the moment in the campaigns and in your work, and also to let you know that from the forest owners side, we have had a campaign that we're happy to connect with you, which is about Welcome to Our Forest, to try to show the millions of people who are actually managing their own forest around the world. Thank you.
Well, we work on different campaigns. This was one at a global scale, and as mentioned, we work with the Forest Communicators Networks, which help us to understand what messages are relevant also at regional level. So this is a very high-level global campaign. And then there are regional campaigns, and also at country level, we work, for example, with the Forest and Farm Facility on some campaigns with stakeholders, where of course the messaging is different, where the messaging is targeted also to reach different stakeholders. So communication is, as was mentioned, is very audience-oriented. So who is the target audience, and how can we reach the audiences, and who needs to be involved? So this example today was really about, grow the solution, a generic, what we want to try and create an impact at global level to make these, videos become viral, that people see them, watch them, and have traffic on the website. And what is important, of course, in this is to keep going, because it's not just one video. You need to continue. For example, already within the last 7-8 months, we just had a workshop with advertising company just 2 months ago on the new campaign now with the following campaign on Grow the Solution, where social media is now much shorter. So we will need to go with 15 seconds, and most of it will have to be filmed. But we have more viewers basically sharing this kind of information. So I hope I answered your question, otherwise we can also do it over coffee. There are different levels of campaigns. At the moment, this that was presented today was literally, on the global scale, on how to influence the global scale and make them available, in all the major, we have them in the UN languages, but we have, for example, received a request from Estonia a month ago, can we have all the posters in also translated? And we can do that. So you can contact us, and we can, translate all these communication products for you to use, because that's what we want to do, is to make all these communication products available for everyone.
And just to add to that, absolutely at the heart of behaviour change communication is insight. Just what Maria was saying, that we can't operate without talking to stakeholders. It's absolutely essential. And in Grow the Solution, you can see how that has shaped the creation of the creative work through talking to people, trying to understand what's going to motivate them. And it's all about creating that motivation. And it can't be motivating if it's not going to get any traction, or people can't relate to the message. So we're always absolutely delighted for opportunities to collaborate and talk to people. Sorry. Last one, lady just here.
Thank you very much, and good morning. I have two viewpoints. The first one is about cross-sectoral coordination. I'm wondering if there is, we could not really think about a specific way to communicate, really to enhance cross-sectoral coordination, which has always been, a challenge in sustainable forest management. The second point is about impact measurement. I believe communication is two-way. Oftentimes we think about how we communicate to our audience, but do we take time really to hear about, our stakeholders? How do we measure the impact of our communication? I think we should Jimin said that we should think of, an innovative way of communicating. I think this is part of it. Communication is two-way. Let us think about the impact measurement. Thank you.
I totally agree. And whilst just in the previous question, I was saying that insight at the beginning of the process is incredibly important. Evaluation at the end of the action is also equally hugely important. And a good behavior change campaign is designed so that there's a number of measurements within it that you can track and see how effective it's being, so that you can then adjust it and develop it as it continues. Probably the key element is an action, a measurable action. So you want to build in something where, whether it's a click, whether it's going and seeking further information, whether it's doing something else, you build in something that that we can track, so that we know people aren't just looking at it and not really being influenced by it, so that we know that they are actively taking a positive step that shows that we are creating that influence that we've been talking about. Oh, sorry, can we do one more? Indonesia.
I want to congratulate the organizers for this wonderful event. I am from the African Forest Forum, Nairobi, Kenya. I just want to plead that, yes, talking about communication, Africa should not be left behind. Africa still holds about 16% of the global forest resources. And this is very significant to economies across the world, the environment, and to households. And so regulations, rules, and issues of communication should be such that we will respect the context of Africa. Africa is not one jurisdiction. We have about 54 countries in Africa, about 6 different languages, and so communication should respect the context of Africa. We're willing to collaborate with partners from across the world, and we will be very glad if we are considered. And African Forest Forum is championing this, and we welcome collaboration. Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Adrian and the crew, and thank you everybody for making this the first interactive session in the plenary room.